Coming up this week on the Course of Life podcast, golf headlines including an electric Solheim Cup in Spain, heartbreaking loss for Team USA, an amazing win for Team Europe. We get into it all, and it's Ryder Cup week over in Italy. We get into the wonder of match play and what we love most about this format. We're tuned into a bunch of NFL gossip and a Comic-Con visit from my co-host. This week's guest is PGA pro Chris French, who played in the 2023 PGA, on Oak Hill. We're hoping to get him back at next year's PGA, but I caught up with him at his course in Illinois, played the course where he worked. A really cool chat coming your way, and it's really good bar food and a babka update when we always end with food. All of it brought to you by our friends at Desert Fox Golf. Again, we love Desert Fox Golf. Time and time again, we talk about the convenience of the phone caddy and how it makes keeping your phone safe and in the right place at all times on your golf cart a necessity. It's part of your day. They do so many more things. They have great merch opportunities and great products that are great for large-scale events as well, too. So if you know someone who is running a large-scale golf event, or you know a pro that has a lot of golf events, or you're attending an event coming up that should have Desert Fox products at it, hit us up on Instagram at COL Podcast, and you can be eligible for a cash referral of up to $200. That's right, a cash referral of up to $200 just for sending Desert Fox a little note about your upcoming event. If they take care of the rest and Desert Fox products are there, the cash referral is yours. So again, check out Desert Fox Golf and DM us at COL Podcast with your next golf events information. Look forward to connecting.
Interwebs, and welcome to Course of Life. We are proud to be presented by our friends at Desert Fox Golf and the Live Take app. I'm Michael Heath. Alex, it was the Solheim Cup in Spain this weekend. Team USA versus Team Europe. And Team USA looked like on Friday, after going 4-0 in the Friday foursomes, that this was going to be a runaway. They kind of lost a little footing in the Friday four ball, square in the Saturday foursome, lost in the Saturday four ball, and it had the number Sunday afternoon for the W, but lost it all thanks to a tie. Thanks to a tie. Let's be clear about this. The U.S. lost.
The final score of the Solheim Cup will read 14-14. But for people who haven't seen the format yet, essentially the way it works is, since Europe previously won the last Solheim Cup, they only need to record 14 points. You win points for each match you get, etc., throughout the week in order to retain the cup, meaning the USA, the road team, needs to get to 14.5. They need to win it outright to take the cup back to U.S. soil. They didn't do that, and it was a 14-14 tie. So again, that's why I said at the top, it's a heartbreaking loss. Make no mistake about it. It was full-on celebration for Team Europe, and they deserved it. Carlota Saganda, the Spaniard, the hero in her home country, sealing it with a huge win over Nelly Korda, who just came up short with the putter all week, which has been her theme as of recent in 2023, and a real tough one to swallow for Team USA fans.
Yeah, I mean, there were some bright spots in this, but this is still a disappointment to come out and blow the doors off to start the week.
Right.
Have the win in your sights on Sunday, and then to just lose it. Maybe the only bright spot on Sunday is that Lexi Thompson was able to deny Team Europe an outright victory by beating Emily Pedersen for the closing match.
Fair enough, yeah. And let's give some credit to our friend of the show and captain, Stacey Lewis, who did a great job with the pairings, I think, all week. She did a nice job kind of mixing up the selections throughout the first couple of days that worked well. She wasn't afraid to try new things in terms of formatting her pairings. I thought the Sunday singles draw was pretty good overall. So shout out to her. And it produced an amazing moment for us, Mike. We had two past Course of Life podcast guests going head-to-head, Sunday singles, Cheyenne Knight versus Gemma Dryberg. Gemma Dryberg got the point. Team Europe ended up getting the win. Hey, man, that was theoretically the point that made the difference. So it was good to see the two of them go head to head and battle it out, though.
Yeah, it was an interesting week overall. Disappointing, but they'll be back next year because they're getting back on schedule.
Yes. Yep.
And they'll be stateside for
Virginia,
the match of next
Robert
year.
Trent Jones Trail Course or something like that. So that's in my sights to maybe attend, Mike. I could be in on that next year.
Yeah, this is either Virginia or North Carolina is where they're going, and
That could be fun.
That's not too far. Maybe we'll have to take a look at that for next year. Before we get into looking at the Ryder Cup that's coming up this weekend, let's talk about a little bit of golf that you got to play this past week in Illinois.
Yeah, a couple of rounds. Really cool to play a country club with an old school feel. Mike, you and I, we're in the low country and Texas, kind of two flatter parts of the continent now. Hadn't played a course with just rolling hills and undulating lies and no flat lies at all day, but that's what I got to experience at Montecito. I put up a really cool reel of the par 4 12th hole, just some awesome views, just as the fall foliage was beginning to come in Illinois. And then we're going to hear a lot about the second round and the course I played, Aldine. It's basically the signature course for the Rockford, Illinois area. So it's fun to get out there twice. Mike, just the golfing in the 60, 65 degrees. I can't get enough of that. I forgot how truly great that fall golf weather is.
I mean, we kind of got a tease of it in Ireland of what it was like to not play in 110 degree weather.
Right.
So now you just got it stateside. So
just got to visit the fam out there as much as I can. But it was a great experience. And you're going to hear a lot more about Aldine coming up with this week's guest as well.
Also, this week on our YouTube channel, we got a couple videos going up there as well. What do we got this week, Alex?
Yeah, I fell behind, so I'm going to give people two if I can this week. It's going to be the PBR experience, like I mentioned, when I went into the shark cage, Mike, out on the dirt for a professional bull riding event. And then I had a really cool experience. Love my friends at UTSA. Always cool to take in an awesome Division I college football game. Got some really cool access. I basically felt like I'm part of the team whenever I go attend a UTSA game. So looking forward to showcasing those experiences again on YouTube, Course of Life podcast. Pull us up, search us on YouTube, and we'll come up real fast. And you can find our full episodes there as well too.
All right, let's look ahead to this weekend. We got the women doing their best team event, and now the men get together for their best team event for the Ryder Cup.
It's time.
It is. It's we're here, and what do we think is going to be happening in Rome? What do we think? Give me gut reaction right now. Who's winning the cup? Tell me right now.
Gut reaction is it sways back in the direction it's been going for the last 4 Ryder Cups in Europe. Takes it back on home soil. That's gut reaction because that's the way the last 4 Ryder Cups have gone. It's flat, plain and simple. The home team has done well in recent cups. With this one being as evenly matched as it is, I mean, you saw the odds, so it's pretty much even money on either side to win, which is telling and shows you just how really competitive this could be. Are we even aligned for a 14-14 tie? Who knows? How about that?
I mean, it would be the chances of that happening after the women just did it to have a tie.
The double
would just
tie,
be crazy. Plus 1,300 odds. Are you taking that bet?
That's not bad, actually. That might be worth $5 or $10 at the beginning of the week. Hey, you never know, right? I mean, it's going to be very, very fierce. It's going to come down to Sunday singles, like I wrote in my Run Your Pool preview. But very evenly matched teams, Mike. I mean, let's just start quickly. Let's do a minute on each side. Thoughts on the U.S. side? Who's going to need to come up the biggest and the best? The leading candidates for top point scorer in the odds are Scotty Scheffler, Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele. Is it one of those guys, or is it somebody else that needs to be the MVP?
No, the one that needs to step up is Justin Thomas. He needs to show that he's worth being on this team and that he can put up points. If he can't do it, then he's the weakest link on this team and the team crumbles.
Yeah, I mean, it's the wild cards that I'm very interested in. I think Ricky Fowler's had great form this year, but he's arguably a little bit of a wild card pick because it's been a bit since he's been back on the stage. The new guys, Sam Burns, Wyndham Clark, Brian Harmon, those three. I mean, we don't really know what we're going to get. Wyndham Clark is saying some very confident stuff to lead off the week. I hope he's ready to back that up the way he did at the U.S. Open at Los Angeles Country Club. So it's an interesting little mix of guys. Then we got Koepka flying over from the Live event in Chicago to Illinois to unite and probably just maybe provide a little bit of lightheartedness, I'd hope, to a bunch that's probably a little bit nervous on the road. Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to see what Team USA can put together.
Yeah, so then we got Team Europe on the other side here, led off by the triumvirate, I'm going to say. Rahm, Rory, Victor Hovland, Mike. In terms of those three guys, if I had a nickel for every time we spit one of those three names this year, we'd be retired. They've been all over the leaderboards all year, so it's fitting that those are the stalwarts for Team Europe.
Yeah, I mean, and then you're followed right behind by Tommy Fleetwood, who's become the new Phil Mickelson, the new maid of honor in every single match seems to be Matt Fitzpatrick right now. Not Matt.
True.
Yeah. Tommy Fleetwood.
Fitzpatrick, You a 2022 U.S. Open champion. He's always pretty gritty in match play too. He's a tough out.
Yeah, I mean, the Europe team just looks strong on home turf, like you said. The home team seems to do really well. I'm going to do again what I did before, which went the other way, but I'm saying Team Europe is going to take this one.
I think we're just going to mush it. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and mush it again, just like 2021 at Whistling Straits. So there's the unofficial pick right there. But you can check out my full preview and a couple other thoughts that I had on top point score. If you're looking to place a couple bets, again, check out runyourpool.com. Just search for the Ryder Cup preview and check it out and enjoy.
All right, let's switch over to Tuned In to share what we're tuning into outside of the world of sports. I actually went to Savannah's Comic-Con.
You did. I'm very excited to hear about this because, I'd been going to the Austin Comic-Con. I've been having a good time. I've been egging you to go, and you finally got to experience one for your own. So what was going on there?
It was kind of lackluster, if I'm being honest. It's not maybe this particular theme is not my cup of tea.
Who were the notables there? Give me some headline names.
Jonathan Frakes was a headliner.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, you would know him as number one on Star Trek: Next Generation.
Obviously, the Star Trek crowd was out in full force for that guy, I imagine.
Yeah, yes, that indeed. And I don't know who anyone else there was, but he was a headliner. And I was curious. I was looking at this. I got to say, this is what I felt like was a racket. Is that I looked at this and I was like, oh, he's probably going to be signing autographs and stuff. Well, what's that look like? You have to frickin' pay to get an autograph and a picture.
You do. How much did you think you see? I thought it would be a nominal fee, but I was surprised to see a lot of people who were like more than $20 for an autograph. That was surprising to me.
60 for an autograph, 50 for a selfie, 100 for the bundle.
I mean, that's a lot.
And it's a racket because they're getting paid to show up. They're getting put up where they are too. And then they're charging people too to get an honor. It's just, I get that that's what happens. And there were plenty of people in line for him and other people there who were not charging maybe quite as much.
Right.
But it's just like, wow.
So I get the
economy. Put a barrier up between yourself and your fans.
I know the marketplace. I understand they need to sell them, but that price point is where I'm out. I'm in for the nominal $10, $20, something like that. And I'm posting it on social media as well, too. It's good for their brand. But, it's cool to see that at least you got to attend. Were there any unique vendors there? That's the unique thing about the Austin Comic-Con that I like is it's a shopping experience as well. Yeah. Was there any shopping going on there as well?
That's really what we went to go check out. Yeah. And it was a lot of different shopping, a lot of and I'm not that into comics and that sort of stuff, so I didn't really recognize a lot of it. But you could buy any number of pop figures. They had a whole lot of pop figures.
Those Funko Pops, Mike. Isn't it crazy how popular they are?
Crazy. It's just crazy in there. And I will say I am surprised the level of skin people are willing to show in their
in their dress up, in their cosplay, in their costumes. Yeah.
It's just a large amount of courage going on in some of these outfits.
We're so old. I love that. I love that comment by you. You're looking out for them out there. I appreciate that.
It's surprising. Specifically, the females were showing a lot, and it was very surprising.
What a crime! What an absolute crime! Hate to see it, right?
Well, I think the crime you want to talk about though is Taylor Swift.
Yeah, let's get into the NFL media frenzy that happened this past weekend. Yeah. First off, the news that Usher is going to be the headlining act, Super Bowl halftime show. Your thoughts? I'm curious your thoughts. I think you kind of adjacently know a few Usher songs, but how do you feel about that selection for the halftime show?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Just ugh.
He's a little bit past his prime, admittedly. I think he's got a Vegas residency connection. The Super Bowl's in Vegas, so I think that helped him kind of lobby for it.
How many guest stars is he going to have come out with him? Because I think he's going to have a lot. The big thing is he was
literally Justin Bieber's mentor back in the day. So I think if he brings Bieber out, he wins a lot of brownie points with a lot of people. But we'll see if he can execute anyone else for a cameo.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So that was the first news. But then obviously the internet was broken Sunday evening. We had suspicions about it leading up to. But sure enough, Travis Kelce saw Taylor Swift live at Arrowhead. She rescinded the favor. And not only that, she sat in the box next to Mama Kelce. Mm-hmm. So it's official. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, definitely an item. What were your thoughts when the biggest news in Hollywood came down on Sunday?
I'm going to be 100% honest with you, Alex. I don't give a fuck.
Yep, you did say that vehemently last week. But the one thing that you are interested in is the content that could arise from
like
it.
I said, we're gonna get a great album. And no offense, but this last album was not Taylor's best.
Okay, so you're looking for a little bit more. So this could be the fuel for it. If this ends in flames, like we all know it will. The good news is, Mike, the internet is already writing the lyrics to Taylor Swift breakup songs pertaining to the end of the Travis Kelce relationship. I'm going to run a few by for you. I did no cross referencing it here at all. So they could be bad, good, or in between. The first lyric we got is, "I thought you were a catch, but you made me feel so incomplete."
Ugh.
Yep, it's cheesy, all right. I can hear it coming out of Taylor's voice any moment. Oh, this is the popular one, obviously referencing Kelce's accomplishments. "You had 2 rings. I was hoping you'd get too worried about your schemes, your catch and run." That's a very deep football reference. I'm not in love with that. You got 2 rings and I still got none. That definitely could be a song lyric coming soon.
That's better. That's where I thought we were going, and then we really forced it. And overall, these lyrics sound like people who are not Taylor Swift trying to write song lyrics.
"Flag on the play, and now my heart is broken." And last but not least, "running on field and running through my mind." All very emotional stuff. So we can expect all those to be wedged into future Taylor Swift songs at the end of this ride with Travis Kelce. But for now, I will go ahead and bend the knee and just enjoy the ride of the two of them together.
What I will say is that it would be hilarious if Taylor, once they break up and Taylor's new album comes out with a whole bunch of songs about breaking up with him, if she then does a Super Bowl halftime show and he happens to play in it, if he's still playing at that point.
Yeah, you wonder now. I mean, I wrote it in my NFL preview. Does she go to MetLife this Sunday for Chiefs at Jets? Is she now just a traveling Chiefs fan?
If she does, then it's legit. Then it's not. This isn't like some one-off.
Yeah,
this is actually happening.
This could be a real thing if she's there again. So we'll be watching that this week. Again, follow us on Instagram at COL Podcast. I'll be sure to update the Swifties and the world who does care about any Taylor Swift movings in the NFL world this week.
All right, let's get to this week's guest. Alex, like we said, you're back from playing some golf in Illinois while you were up there visiting some family. And that's also where you got to spend some time with this week's guest, who you actually met in New Mexico.
Yeah, that's right. At the Hyatt Regency Tamaya. Remember that beautiful property?
Yes. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Love it.
So remember, I was out there earlier for the PGA Professional National Championship, and I saw quickly on the scorecard that there was a pro from Rockford, Illinois. I was immediately intrigued because that's where my whole wife's family and in-laws are from. So I had to connect with Chris French. Lo and behold, he ended up finishing in the top 20 to qualify for this year's PGA. So he talks about that entire experience with us after we first connected and everything that's great about his course and some fun times with Chris as well.
We'll get to that conversation with Chris in just a moment, but first let's talk to you about the Live Take app.
Yes.
This is where sports debates are solved once and for all. And Alex, it seems that the public has spoken. They disagree with me almost all the time.
I know. I'm on a bit of a streak right now. I wonder how, I tagged them in my Instagram post, but I wonder how everyone feels about me barfing at Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift as a couple. Well, maybe I'll have to let that take fly off and see what the people think about that one.
Yeah, you're going to have to take a look and see what happens there. But in general, everyone disagrees with me. They say the Jets were a bigger disappointment in week 1. They say the Patriots will win more games this season. They say that the Ryder Cup picks were good. For Team USA. They say let the Tour Championship staggered scoring format is good.
You got to find a win here.
They say let all-star games should go away instead of preseason games.
You got to find yourself a W on the app right now.
Yeah, I'm on a 5 live take losing streak, and it's just it's downright embarrassing. So
and you can download the app right now if you want to make it 6 for Mike as well too.
That's what I'm trying to say. I need everyone to go download the app to vote for me.
Oh,
because
no.
I need
we're going to add on to the streak right now. That's what we're going to do.
Okay. Well, if you do download the app, Live Take app on your app store, I'm COL Podcast Michael. He's COL Podcast Alex. We do our live takes on there where you hear us for 5 minutes, talk about why we think one thing or the other, and then you vote on who you think is right. I will literally shout out your names on this podcast if you vote for me and I win next week.
I like that.
I will do that during this ad read instead of talking about the Live Take app. We'll just sit here and talk about people's names. That's all we're going to do. So head on over to your app store and download the Live Take app and go ahead and listen in on us. drop your own takes as well. You can challenge us, challenge random people, challenge your friends on there as well, and let other people decide who's right and who's wrong, and then feel rejected like I do. Live take. Let your take be heard.
Next up on the tee here at the Course of Life podcast, we're in Rockford, Illinois at Aldine Golf Club with a pro here that I met at the PGA Professional National Championship last year. He then played in the PGA Championship, and he joins us here on the show. It's Chris French. Chris, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very good. It's great to be out here with you. Last time I saw you was in a completely different area. It was Twin Warriors, Santa Ana Pueblo, New Mexico. We had been before as a show. We got invited back to cover that event. I'm curious, had you ever been to New Mexico or played any golf out there before you landed there?
Well, I went a couple months before the tournament.
Oh, you did a little scouting?
Yeah, I did a little scouting.
Oh, okay. All right.
I had driven through it when I lived in LA, just driving back to Chicago or to Rockford. Drove through it a couple times, but never spent any time there.
It's a very cool spot, honestly. I love going back there. It was a unique challenge. And basically, for everyone who doesn't understand, what you were there for was the Club Pro Championship. The top 20 pros qualify for the PGA Championship. Tell everyone about that moment where you knew your scores were good enough. I saw you after the first day, but that whole week is a marathon in and of itself. What was the process and the relief like knowing that you'd actually qualified?
Yeah, it's a long week. You try to get there early. I think I got there 4 days early. Try to play each course a couple times. There's 315 guys, so it's a lot of guys competing for not a lot of spots. So got off to a decent start. Had a pretty bad second round, but hung in there. Shot one of the lower rounds on the fourth day. And so I finished pretty early. I think I finished like 4 hours for the leaders.
Oh, so you were sitting around and waiting big time.
So I sat around for a long time, but I kind of knew because the wind was blowing pretty hard.
Yeah.
And the last like couple holes are really hard. And so I was just sitting there, unfortunately, watching guys make bogeys and doubles. And so I think I was just one outside the cut line when I finished. So I kind of figured it would move higher than that. Couple of guys made some unfortunate errors on the last hole, but
yeah,
that's just the way it goes.
Oh yeah, man, the wind in the desert.
A couple of years ago in Florida, I was that guy that made the mistakes and let a bunch of guys in. So
yeah, it goes both ways, definitely. Yeah. So you were on the good end of it this time, and you did qualify for the PGA Championship. Oak Hill. Tell me a little bit about what that's a little bit of a whirlwind. Once you qualify, it's right after, within the next week or two, you're playing in the major. The arrival. And maybe just kind of getting there and what that feeling was like for you arriving at the course.
Yeah, I mean, basically, once you find out you're in, you don't have a whole lot of time to book everything. You got to book all your travel. The PGA helps with certain things, courtesy car when you get there, so stuff like that. But you got to book your own hotel, all that fun stuff. Got to credential family and friends and caddy and whoever else you're bringing. So once you get there, though, I mean, you're just basically trying to figure out how the heck you're going to play in a major,
right?
for a club pro, That's my first major, obviously. Some of the guys, they've played multiples. It probably gets a little easier, but
yeah, with experience, I'd say.
Yeah, the first one, you're just trying to figure out what's going on. I showed up on Sunday.
Okay. Well, tell me about the walk onto the range practice facility. You must have had some moment where you walked by some guy or some pro and you're just like, wow, I'm really here.
Well, I got there Sunday and nobody was there on Sunday. I
felt
like I was the only guy on property. I didn't see a single other guy in the golf course. So the first day was kind of weird. But once Monday hit, you're warming up next to, Justin Rose and watched Rory hit for a while and Bryson and just a ton of guys. It was just crazy.
Surreal, man. Tell me about the practice round experience. Who did you play with and what were your takes as you were learning the course? Because that was an all-time difficult course in terms of major championships. We're still talking about it now. What was that build up and practice rounds like for you?
I mean, the first practice round I think I played by myself just because no one else was really around.
Yeah.
I played a practice round with Callum Tarrant, who had a really great season, and Ben Taylor.
Yeah.
Played with Taylor Moore. So I had some pretty good groups, but the first go around, it was kind of like, shit, what am I going to do out here?
I know.
But I mean, the reality was it wasn't as long as they made it out to be. There were probably 4 really long holes, and if you got in the fairway, the ball ran. So it's not like you had to carry it 340. It probably helped to carry 340, but I don't. But you just had to hit the fairways. You had to figure out what you're going to do if you hit it in the rough, just because you couldn't really get like a 7-iron on it. You had to. I mean, I was hitting like a 7 wood, just kind of chopping it down the fairway, or just wedging it out. Saw very few guys and very few lives where you could actually get like a good iron on it.
I think the amateurs will like to hear that you were chopping out with a 7 wood from the rough. I think that makes us all feel better that you were doing that too in a major.
Yeah, and it worked though. I mean, you just had to figure out what shot you could hit, and more than anything, you just didn't want to hit it in the rough.
I'll spin it optimistically and say that I think you were about 9 holes away from making the cut in a major championship. So what was working best for you that helped you outplay a lot of your PGA Pro colleagues, at least? What was it, the driving and just keeping in the fairway, basically?
Yeah, I generally hit the ball pretty straight. I wasn't playing well. I didn't play well in New Mexico. I wasn't playing well going into it, which is, I know it's kind of stupid to say, but I was just trying to hit shots that I knew how to hit. But when you get into a major, I mean, you need to hit the ball. You need to hit the ball every which way.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to hit the fairways, hit the greens. I made some good up and downs, but I got off to a really nervous start. Bogeyed my first 2 holes. The first one I missed like a 1-foot putt, so I just threw away shots there. I made a triple on a bad decision. So
yeah,
I really didn't. I didn't play that poorly. I made a ton of pars. Made a couple birdies here and there, but it was just the mistakes of just not being there and just not having my best stuff. It'll expose you in a hurry.
Yeah, well, you got that in your back pocket for the next time it comes around, at least. So tell me a little bit about the future, I guess. What's the calendar on 2024 and trying to play in another PGA championship? If you follow it, CRENCH12, I got it on Instagram. Yeah. The lifting of trophies that you're doing is pretty frequent on the Illinois PGA stage. What's the game plan and how's the tournament season going for you as we kind of head into the next calendar year?
I had a decent year here in Illinois. Got a little burned out in the middle of the season from all the golf I played in the spring.
It was a lot, I could tell. Yeah.
So I took some breaks this summer, which I normally would never take. A week off here and there, and it's hard to do that and play at a high level. But still had a good season here in Illinois. I think I'm second in Player of the Year right now. But going forward, so since I finished in the top 20, I was exempt into the National Club Pro next spring. But
cool.
I finished 4th in our section championship, so I would have qualified anyway, so that was nice. I played well that week. So I'm going to head down. It's at PGA Frisco next year.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's driving distance for me in Austin, so I might be able to make that.
I'm heading down in November for a little scouting.
I've heard a lot about that. That's not only like a course for people who don't know, but this PGA facility they built in Frisco, it's like a theme park. It's like a golf theme park. There's everything there, right?
It's basically the new PGA headquarters.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the PGA doesn't own the golf course, which I'm not sure that was great to see.
They got to take care of that,
yeah. Still paying $300 to play a practice round. But so I'm heading down there in November, and then I'll probably try to head down in the spring, maybe with a handful of guys that I know just from around. Try to get another look at it.
Okay, cool.
Usually I try to get down there at least once if I hadn't played there, but twice. Might need to see it twice next year.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like an intriguing property. It is a very random golf course. So let's talk about this track where we are today, Aldine Golf Club. Tell everyone a little bit about your connection and how long you've been here.
So this is my 9th season. It hasn't all been consecutive. I've worked in LA for a while in between there, and then came back. So 9th season here at Aldine, public facility owned by the Park District, but we are very fortunate to have it. So Norris and Margaret Aldine donated this land back in the late 80s to the Park District specifically for a championship golf course that they wanted to build that would be open to the public. So didn't really have a facility like this in Rockford or in the area until Aldine came on.
Yeah, definitely. It does seem to be kind of a crown jewel of the area. My family and in-laws who I know rave about the experience here. Tell everyone a little bit about what sets it apart. I can tell from my perspective, I haven't even got out there yet, but this course has a lot of great curb appeal and it's in fantastic condition. But what sets it apart from other courses in the area?
I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's usually it's in good shape right now. We've had a little bit of rain recently. That's helped. We had a really dry summer. Greens are good, but yeah, it's a difficult golf course. It can play long certain times of the year. We got a lot of water. We got an island green on the front nine.
No, I heard of this, but I hadn't seen it yet. I did a quick drive by. It seemed pretty legit. Is it really circled around by water?
There's a walking path.
Nice. I like it.
It's
okay.
completely
Cool.
surrounded by water.
Love it. So when you play the course, what's the first tee tip for someone who's never been here and they get on the first tee? You got 2 sentences to tell them. Like, all right, what's the going away tip before they start here?
You need to hit it straight up.
Okay. All right. Fairways it is. Love it. Again, Chris French joining us here on the Course of Life. His Instagram profile says current golf guy, former band guy, but I've seen you playing some shows recently. Tell everyone a little bit about your music background as well, too.
So I kind of always just played music when I was in college. Just played in a bunch of bands. Had one that was, mildly successful. So we toured a lot, played a lot of shows. I left when I got in the golf business. I basically stopped, and then this summer they needed the guy who replaced me couldn't play a show in Toronto. They were playing a festival, and they asked me to play. So I took the weekend off, went up to Toronto, and yeah.
Oh, nice. So you're like the 6th man now. You're like the first bench guy, right? Just ready to roll.
Still know all the songs, so when they need me, I can hop in.
Nice. And it's joie de vivre, correct?
Yeah.
Which is what? Joy of life? I did just enough French to know that in middle school and high school. But what it seems like it's kind of like a emo-ish type punk rock
like
band. What's the vibe like? People that listen.
Yeah, it's like indie rock, old, 90s emo. Whatever.
What's that compare like, those two spotlights? That's very different for a lot of people that are listening right now. First tee of the PGA Championship versus playing on stage in front of a crowd. What's the nerves compare like?
Not a lot of crossover there.
Yeah, I know.
First tee at the PGA is much more nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Easier to hit the songs, right? Yeah. Very cool. And the inspiration for the music, how did it all first come together to put that band together? You're still playing now?
We were basically just all friends going to school together, and I worked at a studio. So before I got into golf, I was just worked as an engineer, making records and stuff like that at a studio here in town. And we had free reign of the studio basically at night when there wasn't anything going on. So a lot of beer and making music.
Yeah, love it. Very cool. Joie de vivre. Check them out for sure. Again, Chris French joining us. We love to end with our 19th hole question. We're at Alchemy, which is the 19th hole bar here at Aldine. So the important question is, what's your go-to order, your meal and your drink of choice when you get in after a long day on the course?
Here at Alchemy?
Provided you're not working. Let's put it that way. Let's say you're not working.
Here at Alchemy, well, just anywhere. I'm going with a glass bottle High Life, and they got great pizza here at Alchemy, so I'm just going to go pepperoni pizza.
Okay, pepperoni and a High Life. Love it. Awesome. Chris, thank you so much for hopping on the show. Appreciate it. Looking forward to following the future tournament progress and hopefully another PGA Championship in your future too.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Course of Life podcast is brought to you by Zencastr. Zencastr is what we use every week to record this podcast. It's super easy. We've been using it forever, and we love it. It just does everything we expect it to do. It does more than we even use it for. We have radio faces, and that's why we don't do video for these podcasts, because we prefer for you to just hear our sultry tones. So it's super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr no matter how you're doing it. You log in with your browser and you start recording a high-quality podcast right away. You record studio-quality sound and up to even 4K video with your guests. You can feel a sense of zen, knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. You also sound your best. Have you ever wondered what you sound like? Zencastr's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation, too. You set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with the click of a button. So head on over to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code Course of Life to get 30% off your first month of Zencastr on any paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experiences that we do for all of our podcasting and content needs. So again, that's zencastr.com/pricing and our promo code Course of Life for 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. Zencastr, it's time to share your story. We're back. Great chat there with Chris. Love hearing these local club pros who were able to live out their dreams. He was so close, too, to making the cut at Oak Hill.
I know. Yeah, probably about 9 holes away, like I said. And he's definitely going to give himself another opportunity. Like I mentioned, he's already qualified for the 2024 PGA Professional National Championship. That's going to be in Frisco, by the way, at that new Omni PGA Resort facility.
I've heard it's gorgeous.
Definitely attending that. That is on the list for next year. So he's already in there. So got to get the game in shape for the next several months and for that build up. But really cool to be hosted by him at Aldine too. A really, really nice track in A+ shape. And it was a wet day out there and it was an amazing shape. Tees, greens, fairways, nothing out of place. Great flowers. Nice, very photogenic golf course, which you appreciate, Mike.
Yes.
Going to look nice on the camera and on the video that I put out soon. So great time at Aldine. Highly recommend if you're in Northern Illinois, anywhere outside Chicagoland there, definitely worth a visit. And appreciate Chris for stopping by, and we'll be definitely connecting with him. Hopefully we see him back at another major championship real soon.
And if you like that conversation with Chris, plus everything else we're doing here on this podcast, make sure you punch that subscribe button, both here and on YouTube, plus on Instagram and Threads, COL Podcasts. It's Course of Life. Alex is Alex. I'm MWRINC. Also, leave us a rating. You know how to do that, right, Alex? You just kind of, there's this star thing or these thumbs up things that you can do on a lot of stuff, and you just kind of like.
It's like one swipe and one touch away from it for everyone right now.
Ideally, you hit the positive feeling thing, the thumbs up or the multiple stars.
That'd be nice. Yeah, you don't have to, but it'd be nice.
Yeah, you're free to live your life, but you will be judged. You know who is being judged?
Who?
Colorado.
Yeah, I know. Tough week for Coach Prime and the fanboys and the bandwagon.
Am I done? Am I done on the Colorado bandwagon? I feel like this is it.
No, because they're still going to be a nice team. I think they're going to win probably 8-9 games. So they're still going to get the job done in most of these big games. They got another tough one against USC this week, which they could very well lose. But not a great way to get throttled by Oregon to end the undefeated run for Coach Prime. He was very, very accountable and honest and humbled, and called it a good old-fashioned ass-kicking. So they'll be back at it. There's a lot of talent out there. So an end to kind of that dream season undefeated run, but doesn't deter from what he's already done with the program.
So down week for Colorado, but Texas, are we hooking them horns?
This is getting scary because they're winning the games that they normally would stumble on early in the season, and they're doing it with authority, which is why I'm starting to get too excited. And I don't like it already. I don't like that I'm this excited already about the team. But Quinn Ewers is a new quarterback. He cut the hair, he trimmed the beard, and lost some weight, and he's like a new guy out there. So it's been fun to watch. Yeah, they're unofficially back, but we all know, Mike, it's all about that Red River rivalry in Dallas. That's about a week and a half away. They get past Kansas, they'll play Oklahoma there. Those will be the first real tests coming for the Longhorns to see if they are indeed back.
You, though, seem to be struggling with your picks.
Yeah, just floating around 500, 5-7. It's tough when you start out 3-0 in the morning games and then you end the night 5-7, but we're hanging right around the Mendoza line. So nothing crazy, nothing to see here, really. I've done a nice job betting underdogs, so I think we're going to find a lot more of those and try and get some more value. Again, I do previews every week for both college and NFL on runyourpool.com, so be sure to check out the full articles there if you want a little bit more introspection into the games.
On the NFL side, did you have the Dolphins putting up 70 points?
I did not. That was a scoregami, Mike. That's the first 70-20 we'd ever had there in the history of the NFL.
Incredible.
I mean, the offensive output's just ridiculous. Tua, when healthy, we always worry about his concussions. We always say he's one hit away, but until he isn't, he's been unbelievable. Early MVP candidate. Tyreek Hill's amazing. So they're tough to stop. The Patriots limited them to 24 points, which I guess was a victory in theory, but there's just no offense for the Patriots at all. They won the ugliest game in NFL history. It was a waste of 3 hours and 15 minutes of my life. It still counts in the win column as 1-2 for the Patriots. But really, Mike, the headline was Bill Belichick saying that Travis Kelce's had a lot of big catches in his career, but Taylor Swift would be his biggest. That's the funniest thing that Bill Belichick has said in about a decade. So I just had to get that into my Patriots moment there.
That's pretty good coming from Bill. Did he say it with his nonchalant, I don't want to be here monotone? He
did. It's funny. He's remarkably chipper after winning 15-10 on Sunday for a guy that just won 15-10. And the question was asked by past guest as well, Courtney Cox, who works for WEI in Boston, interviewing Bill on Monday. So that was cool to see a little bit of personality out of Bill, and even chiming in on the pop culture news of the week.
Interesting. Well, hey, at least your Patriots won a football game. Because my Giants just continue to put the stink up. Yes, we won the previous week, but I did watch a little bit of the first half of this game on Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. This was pretty bad. This was the Giants just looked like just looked bad. Yeah. The defense didn't do anything. The offense looked like it didn't know how to move the ball downfield. I always feel bad when I'm watching my team and they're not letting big plays go, but it's just like check down, check down, check down, check down, check down.
Yep.
And it's like first down, second down, first down, second down. It's like you got to stop the machine, and the Giants can't.
I hear you. On the stop the machine thing. We're both in a very similar spot. I think we're at a dead heat through 3 weeks in the Pats versus Jets battle of the bottom this year. We've both won one game, and it's been an ugly win. Yeah. and the others have been bad. So there we are at 1-2 through 3 weeks.
All right. Let's move on to something more exciting for us, and #AlwaysEndWithFood.
Yes, Always End with Food on Instagram as well, too. If you want to follow around for the food pick nonsense. I don't like to post a lot of food pictures on my actual Instagram, the Food Podcast, but every once in a while you'll see a little reel from an experience, but follow along there as well, too. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to hit you with some amazing bar food pricing, Mike.
Okay.
How about that? So I went to the Bon Air in Austin, Texas here. It's a great bar, kind of Midwest-themed sports bar. They have 1 million TVs. They do a good job with the sound. I wanted to watch 2 games at the same time with Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Texas. So it worked out very nicely. It's a great venue, and you'll appreciate nothing more than the prices they have on their food here, Mike. Are you ready for these bargains?
Yeah, give it to me.
Peel and eat shrimp, 39 cents a pop. How about that? 10 shrimp, $3.90. How great of a deal with cocktail sauce and a lemon. How about that?
How big are these shrimp? How big are we talking here?
You know what? The small, medium, large, jumbo at the grocery store? I'd say they're about large. They're not jumbo, but they're large. Wow. They're solid.
Damn. That's very nice. Yeah.
The burger is a half-pound Angus patty, $3.99 for the Fast Freddy burger. How about that?
Ooh, is it better than a McDonald's cheeseburger?
It's solid. The wife swears by it. And then I love the fries. Side of fries, $3. Toasted ravioli, Mike. Half a dozen toasted ravioli with marinara sauce on the side. $3.99.
Damn. How much is a beer, though?
The beers are about $4 to $6. Nothing too crazy. Nothing exorbitant. So if you're in Austin, I highly recommend. Yeah, there's a lot of places in the world to eat out and a lot of bar food. I challenge anyone to find better prices than at the Bon Air. Those are the best I've found in town.
You know what my rationale would be? I'm going to go business mode for a second here. If you know people are going to be sitting in the bar and watching an afternoon of football games, you're more likely to get them to buy stuff if your prices are cheap.
And you know what? I also forgot to mention, they're also just doing the free popcorn machine too. You can just walk up to the popcorn machine and just get popcorn. How about that?
Nice.
Yeah. So great spot. Always love a good discount bar food spot, and the Bon Air definitely is hitting for me lately.
Yeah, that sounds great. You say you don't post a lot of food stuff on your personal Instagram. I'm always posting food stuff on my personal Instagram.
At MWRINC.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw what I posted Friday.
I don't think I did.
And it was a picture of what we had made in the bakery. It's a chocolate cherry cheerwine babka.
Okay, so first off, explain cheer wine for everyone out there who doesn't know that.
Cheer wine, if you haven't had it, you're missing out on one of life's great pleasures. It is a cherry cola in its simplest way to describe it. It's a cherry cola, but it's much more cherry forward than anything else. It's got a nice cherry tartness to it. It's really only available in the South, and mostly it's from North Carolina, so it's mostly in the Southeast. But you can get it in Texas.
So chocolate cherry.
Cheer
wine. I mean, we basically got a chocolate cherry cola babka on your hands right there.
Kinda.
Amazing.
Yeah. It was chocolate dough, a cherry jam, chocolate chips, a cheerwine syrup, and then a cheerwine glaze on top. And it was on a scale of 1 to 10. It was like a 20, maybe a 25.
Wow,
it was
okay.
phenomenal.
You usually average around like a 12 or 13, so that's pretty telling, actually.
And pretty much what I'm saying, too, though, is if you're in the Savannah area, we're going to have it again this weekend, Auspicious Bakery. Come check it out. It'll be up there on a Saturday. It'll be on the counter.
Wow.
Come quick, though. We don't make it that many. Come quick. You got to come early, otherwise everything's gone anyway. We open at 8.
For the brand. Love that. Good stuff. That was Always End With Food. Thanks again for hopping on with us and joining for another great episode of The Course of Life. Appreciate you tuning in and subscribing. We'll see you next week.